What's up, you nerds? Welcome back to Yellow Spandex. In this episode, we're running through a bunch of the Sonic stuff. We're also talking about Stranger Things trailer. We stopped and listen or watch that. The wrestling. What is it? Wrestling for hours. Oh, yes. We did a little spiel about wrestling. We also talked about
Vince is like, we're talking too much about this.
we talked about the Batman, the new Batman movie.
Yes.
We talked about more Birds of Prey. We talked about CW. What's they want to make a Lost Boys television series, so we talk about that. I don't know. Also, High Fidelity and how amazing the TV show is, and talk about that versus the movie. Also, some CCM rants, some music rants, and also the sequel to Knives Out. We talk about that too.
Did you say Sonic yet?
I said Sonic.
Okay.
And, yeah,
Maybe I just didn't hear it.
Sonic is like the start of the show of this episode, so hopefully you guys enjoy it because it's coming at you right now.
Josh, did you see Sonic?
I did not. I wanted
You should take the girls. It is very much a kid's movie. Should we start with that?
Oh yeah, I
Sure,
guess,
yeah. Let's do a quick one with the Sonic.
Yeah, there's not much to talk about.
gonna say,
It's a kid's movie. There's like maybe some half jokes for the parents and stuff,
Yeah.
but not really. Like it's mostly just like music. It's got a great soundtrack. You know, a lot of music cues and
Yeah.
stuff.
And the feels, the nostalgia feels are all there.
That's good. Question:
Go ahead.
Does he eat a chili dog?
Yes.
Nice. Is Jaleel White in the movie?
No.
Oh darn.
That is like a spoilers. Just a warning, I guess. I don't know if you're listening to us. But you get 90s Jim Carrey back is basically Ace Ventura.
Good.
It's so
I missed
awesome.
that Jim Carrey.
I feel like though.
So did I.
I feel
Now
like
it's
though the editors
back.
don't know how to. I mean, they did a good job, you know. But I feel like the 90s editors were able to make it like more hectic, you know. Because I noticed like Jim was just as crazy as he was, but the surroundings were not as like crazy, you know, and stuff. So there was something missing there. But he was like, I don't know. He must have been doing crack the whole time or something. He was just like all over the place.
He was on like 11 the whole time. It was great.
But
I know that he was on Saturday Night Live a year or two ago, I think it was. And all the writers there were like our age, you know? And so it was funny. He did an interview. He was like, you know, it's funny because they saw me, you know, on Mad TV and everything else growing up, Jim and Ace Ventura. And, you know, I used to do a lot of physical comedy and they're like, it's still Jim Carrey. We're going to make him do this. And then, like, I don't know if I can do that, guy.
There's a couple sequences that are purely for him to do physical comedy.
Nice.
Like the one time when he listens to music while waiting on the machine to do the thing.
Oh yeah.
He just does like a weird dance sequence thing, but it's there for the 90s nostalgia kind of.
It brought back pretty much any scene you've seen Jim Carrey in.
Yeah.
But and like most people thought, you know that scene where you see the actual Doc Robotnik with the
It's at the very end.
it's like basically a post credits thing, you know.
So is it meant to be like there's supposed to be a sequel?
Yes. So do you want spoilers or?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah. To be honest, like the only thing I could see in this movie is, hey, oh no, Sonic's here. Accidents happen. They saved the world from Robotnik. I don't know. That's the only thing.
The second after credits is Tails.
Oh, cool.
They're clearly setting up for a second movie, and based
What about
on
Knuckles? Knuckles gonna be in it too?
he's in the beginning.
Oh, nice.
Well, there's a nod to him, like the race.
The tribe.
Yeah, you see that. I didn't notice that until a friend pointed it out later. We were on the west side, and a friend of ours, Max, who writes for NerdSync, lives out there, and he was like so about the movie. He was like, "Who's gonna go with me on Valentine's Day?" And then we happened to be out there, like, "Oh yeah." So he was like, "Did you notice Knuckles at the beginning?" I'm like, "No." But then I like look back, I'm like, "Oh yeah,
That was the tribe.
yeah." So maybe he wasn't in there, but they at least set up the thing.
Is it like a Beta Ray Bill thing to where like in Thor 3, like he's got a statue in the background, it's Beta Ray Bill.
That's
But
funny.
this was even more so because he was being chased after by this tribe.
Okay.
The whole beginning sequence is the first level of Sonic.
Oh, that's funny.
And they don't even hide it. They're like, this place is perfect. It's got ramps and spins. It's just like he just
And gold rings.
so the gold rings actually have like a function. They're teleportation devices.
Oh, okay.
So
And all, yeah.
also the beginning sequence, like you know how Marvel has like the flipping pages and everything. They heavily imply there's going to be a Sega verse.
Oh, cool.
Like there's other games in the thing.
What else would they have? Beastmaster?
Stuff like that. Yeah, yeah. Like
Sega verse.
That'd be
So-
sick though.
I'd watch it.
if they did a
but
Beastmaster.
and the music that plays, it doesn't do the Sega, but the chords do.
Oh, crazy.
So you hear like, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
beautiful. It's
Have you ever seen the meme
harmonics.
of like it has Nick Fury in the background and it's got like Pikachu behind him and he's like, I'm talking about the Super Smash Initiative or whatever.
I could see that. But hands down, the strongest part of the movie was the redesign of Sonic.
Yeah.
Surely.
Like he doesn't disappoint. He looks exactly like you wanted Sonic to be, and the sentimental moments, because there's several of them. Because Sonic's basically the loneliest person on Earth. That's the gist of the movie. You actually feel it, which I wouldn't have felt it with that original horrific design thing. I posted on Facebook like that it was like it was like the strongest thing in the movie, and then another friend of ours was like, good, and he tagged his friend who's like, was a head of design on that. I was like, oh, good.
Oh yeah, and
Good
glad
work.
I didn't say anything horrible.
Also, it was genuinely good, But it was a kids movie. I didn't know how well it would do though, because it wasn't like bombastically like amazing.
Yeah.
But I think like if you're a kid, it would made like a lot. It's a very entertaining kids movie. But if you're our age, there's not jokes for us, but there's references for us. Except for the owl thing, which I don't know about, and a lot of people are complaining. The owl's Sonic's mom. I don't know how that works. Apparently, she's never been mentioned. There was an owl in the past, but it wasn't the same name. She's only in it for like 30 seconds.
See, like I played some of those games, and I don't remember if there's lore behind them besides, adding, I guess if you look at the cartoon, I don't know.
Kind of.
There's multiple cartoons. So.
There's references to the levels and stuff. Like at first, there's this whole thing where Sonic would have to escape to a mushroom world, and I thought that was a dig at Nintendo.
Yeah.
Turns out it's a level in Sonic. I didn't know that.
Huh.
So
Okay.
I don't remember. I'm sure if I played it, it'd be like, oh yeah.
I don't know.
I beat the first 2 games at least.
Oh yeah, I don't know if I made it past like Green Hills. So
Yeah.
they're in San Francisco. There's a lot of plot holes. Not gonna lie, but you just go with it because once again, pitch meeting.
Yeah.
So funny. Because
I need to watch that one then.
so like there's this. So the whole movie is a road trip movie. James Marsden has to take Sonic to go find his rings. I won't. There's a whole thing about why he has to go to San Francisco to find the rings.
Okay.
But he goes. They have to drive from Montana to San Francisco, and the thing they point out in pitch meeting is like, oh, so Sonic somehow disabled that he can't run. He's like, no, actually, right before the road trip begins, he runs to the Pacific Ocean and gets covered in a fish and back. It's like, then why didn't he just stop in San Francisco on his way? He's like, I don't know, story. Like, and it's like true. It's like, yeah, he did. He like they specifically like they were in the middle of the road trip. They get in a fight, and Sonic runs the Pacific Ocean and back, and then they continue the road trip. And like, you just basically went there, and then came back.
I clearly can't do this by myself. Like clearly
you just
can.
did, yeah. And then there's a moment where he has to like scale a building, and they've established before that he does it several times, and then he just doesn't. So there's this whole subplot about them having to get a key to get to the top of the building. And it's like, you could just like run up the side.
Scale it, yeah.
I don't know. So if you ignore those things and just be like, we need to have some sort of plot, then it's fun. Yeah, that's why it's like clearly
it's a
for
kids
kids.
movie, I guess. So I mean, I can generally look past those for kids movies, but
Yeah.
It bothered me for like a second until like Sonic kept being cute, because it was like you have a fish on your head. He says, I just ran to the Pacific Ocean. And then he was like, but I can't do this trip without you. I was like, okay. I guess they're counting on kids not knowing geography.
Yeah. The fish thing went over well with all the kids in the theater.
Yeah.
They're all like, yeah, fish.
Yeah, the jokes did go real with kids, because like there's some jokes I missed because the kids were still laughing. So
Yeah.
it worked. But it was cool. Yeah, I was disappointed not seeing Jaleel White though.
yeah.
I was hoping that he would be like holding a chili dog and Sonic would steal it.
Yeah,
or
I
something.
thought he'd be like, he'd be the guy at the little, stand or whatever. Be like,
Yeah.
oh, you want a chili dog?
if he was in it, none of us noticed.
True.
Did you see that originally they had planned that they wanted Chris Evans to be?
Sonic?
Yeah, they even have a picture, concept art of him. And I guess, did he have a bar fight in the movie?
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah. There's basically all the slow-mo scenes are basically Quicksilver from the X-Men movies.
Yeah,
like
I'd figure.
verbatim. Same situations.
I mean,
So-
if you could slow mo for that much, why couldn't you just stop everything all the time? And
Lots of plot holes.
exactly,
He has like
that's a big plot hole.
He has godlike powers. It's not just speed. Like there's an insinuation he has a power, but they never like clarify it. And so like those times were like, well, couldn't you just do what you did to the bar? I don't know. Also, they make a point to say that he's a child, so they keep ordering him like soft drinks at the bar, but he's still in a bar.
Yeah,
the whole time.
He's still in a bar. This is not. I don't know.
They're trying to play that joke that cliche thing there in movies. Because there's one where guy sits at he's obviously underage, and he says, "Well, I'll have a milk," and it was in a dirty glass.
Yeah.
What was that from?
Oh, I can't remember.
This was like,
I know what you're talking about.
Didn't
though.
they get him in like an orange juice or something like that? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was like juice and then something else.
But even then, it was still cute. The reason they're at the bar is because Sonic, they're on a road trip, so of course they have like a Pee-wee's Big Adventure, like we see a biker bar, thing. So he sees all this. I guess that might have been for the parents, because there's this stuff that is like parody level movie. He's like seeing the outside of a biker bar, and they're doing all kinds of crazy stuff that wouldn't actually happen.
It was
like
awesome.
It's like a rap video,
Yeah.
but at a biker bar. Like there's like hydraulics, there's like spinning motorcycle.
All these different kinds of biker bar, or all these different kinds of bars are like mushed into one.
It's like a music video, yeah. And then Sonic's like, "It's so cool, I have to leave the car." And I'm like, "I get it. You're 9 or something." You see that? I'm like, "I gotta leave." Like,
What movie you were thinking of is Cop and a Half, which kind of is understandable because he'd be with the cop. I guess he could take him into the bar. I don't know.
yeah.
That's funny though. Wow, cop and a half.
So yeah, pretty funny, and it looks like based on the numbers, it's gonna have a sequel.
Good.
I guess
that's
it,
good.
I just did a really good opening weekend or something.
Thank
I saw
God.
some memes that were like, "Hey, they switched this for you. Go out and watch it."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I wish I could. Maybe this weekend."
But it also was worth it too. We didn't just go and be like, "Okay, we're supporting this," but it was a decent movie. It was
Who's the voice of Sonic?
Ben Schwartz, somebody from Parks and Rec,
Parks and Rec.
and he was also on. He's the voice of somebody else, but he did a very good job, like totally believable.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Okay.
There's some cool videos of him right now on YouTube where like he answers questions while watching like a Sonic speedrunner play the Sonic games
That's
Okay.
funny.
and stuff. So I forget what else he's in. He's in DuckTales. He's a voice in DuckTales, like the current DuckTales too.
I know. Was it Bobby Moynihan's also in that too?
Nice.
Sonic.
So he's Gene Ralphio. I don't remember like who that is in Parks and Rec.
I never watched Parks and Rec, so I don't know.
Yeah.
And then, he's in DuckTales. I forget what voice he is though.
Oh, he's in MODOK, the new MODOK cartoon that's going to come out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, he's in Bob's Burgers.
Okay. All
He's several voices on Bob's Burgers.
right. Well, that's kind of cool.
Oh,
At least-
he's in Ninja Turtles. He's Leo.
Oh, that's the new one. I haven't watched any of the new one. I mean, the little pieces that I've seen looks awful. So I was like, nah, no thanks.
Is that where their bodies are all different?
Yeah, they're all like
Sizes.
different sizes, and they're all really young, and it's weird. That's not a fan.
Anyway, recommended, but like don't expect like a Shrek level thing. And if you have kids, like highly recommended, like super squeaky clean movie.
Yeah, Ari wanted me to take her, and I kept telling, like, kind of joking with Angie. He's like, "Hey, you want to go out Valentine's night? And, like, what are we gonna do? I don't know. Watch a movie. We're not watching Sonic." Like, oh,
It is kind of a romantic comedy. Like it's James Marsden's either wife or fiance, I can't remember what her their status was. She's like a ride or die. Like so much stuff happens to James Marsden. He's like wanted by the FBI and everything, and she's just like, "I'm with you." I'm like, holy crap! Like she's a keeper, Like,
Mary status.
Well, I'm glad that turned out well.
What was that? Somebody said, "I can't believe they actually turned this into a movie after all this."
oh, like I read the reviews, and it was like the fact that they made this a watchable movie is nothing short of a miracle, and stuff. And that was being used to describe both negative and positive reviews.
Yeah,
So it's not a piece of art by any means, but it looked great.
but the design is like a large percentage of it. I mean, like, maybe not the whole thing, but like when you bring something like that down, it cripples it more than if you add it, I guess. Like, I don't know how to explain that.
I want
It's
to
like,
say it's very similar to like the Alvin and Chipmunk movie, the first one.
Yeah.
And like the other, like brought to, I forget what the other examples are, but stuff like that. Smurfs
yeah.
and things. So people are expecting the next one to be bad because that's what happened to all the other ones.
Yeah. That's true. Oh, let's see here. What fun things did we talk about this week? Oh, Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah. Did you finally watch the trailer, Vince?
I didn't yet.
I mean, it's real quick. You want to watch it?
Yeah, let's just watch it because I want to talk about it, but I don't want to spoil it for Vince. Unless you read something already.
No, I haven't even.
All right.
Whoop, and we're back. That was short.
So what do you think?
That was cool.
They just
Now
kind
we-
of get the speculation off the table right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hey, guess what?
Now we
He's
know.
obviously coming back.
Now we know. And I totally thought he was dead, man.
I remember when I watched it last, I was like, well, in the last scene, you see like, it goes through like the Russian thing at the end.
Yeah.
They're like, don't worry or don't mess with the American or something like that. And I was like, well, it's obviously him. I mean, like, who else would it be? And,
I think most people speculated that they were going to lead you to believe it was Hopper, but then it was actually going to be Papa, and stuff.
Brennan or whatever.
Yeah. But then this one is basically saying like, no, it's going to be him.
Yeah. Well, I saw him in an interview shortly after I saw the end of the third season, and he was like, "Oh, I gotta talk to the Duffer Brothers and see what we're doing next season." I was like, "Well, he's gonna be in it, so I don't know."
Millie Bobby Brown kind of like spilled the beans too. She mentioned something about like working with David again or something like that. But it's funny. I don't know if you've seen like there's a bunch of like fan fiction now about like the beginning, the crossover to Black Widow.
Oh yeah,
because Dave Hopper's into like 2 Russian things right now.
Oh, it's funny.
I did think that when I was watching.
Like the same period of time.
It's true.
Both are going to be out there.
Yeah.
It's like his agent's like, let's get all the Russian stuff out of there.
He's like, I can only do Russian in this time period. So whoever wants to hire me for Russian things,
your time is now.
You have a quarter.
It'll be interesting to see though, like what time frame this is in, like where it lies in the timeline. Supposedly, the description the Duffer Brothers gave was like that's going to be one of the plots, but then the other plot's what's happening back in the States. So it'll be interesting seeing the play on.
Probably the same. I mean, the last couple seasons have been like this, where they have a couple of people over here, a couple people over here, and then like they all kind of come at the end, kind of deal. To I mean, that's just seems to be obvious, normal behavior.
I mentioned our friends Ruth Ann and Chris. They do a like kind of a podcast, but a live stream called Nerd Rage. Yeah. And I was in the chat and they were like, oh my God, it's him. And I was like, yeah, like, I wonder if they put this trailer out there for like the investors, like, see, Money Face Man's back. Like, soon we're going to be following 11 to college or something.
Good on him, though. He's making those paychecks. He's been in everything this year, last year, before that.
I like he's got a good like resume right now currently. Like, I like his characters and everything.
He's a good actor. Yeah, makes sense.
I want to see him in a funny rom-com.
Oh God!
I mean, it's coming where it's going to be like him and like Kevin Hart or something. Like
Kevin Hart. Just
some like smaller person that's going to be goofy. It's going to be like the Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito dynamic.
That's true. You could do the other way around.
Yeah.
That would be funny. Actually.
That would be.
Kind of find like a
get him jacked up after Black Widow.
Vince wiped out on his skateboard this week, so
dude, yeah, it looks gnarly.
He road rashed his arm, so he can't like rest his elbow on anything.
Did you go to the doctor at all?
Nah.
Did you like sterilize it? Like peroxide or something?
He poured alcohol on it. But the alcohol we have is like cleaning grade, like 70% or whatever. So I was like,
that's isopropyl.
I was like, did that hurt? Like I use it to clean like windows and shit. So like just
no, it like completely. I went through phases of insanity while it was on my skin. I'm like,
I could take you to the doctor.
Nah, it's fine. I can always just skateboard down to the.
We're children of the 80s. We survived a lot of work.
Oh my
you
gosh,
wipe out on the other side too.
Yeah.
You have both your arms like,
But I'm going to the doctor's office. So should be.
You remember, like I remember I was in wrestling in junior high, and actually my first match I hyperventilated, but then everyone else after that I started winning. So my mom wouldn't go because she just didn't like the concept. She's like, why would Americans put their kids through this? And I kept telling her it wasn't that bad. And then the one time she went,
it was bad.
This kid who was my weight class, but just all muscle, like 2 foot taller than me or whatever, just grabbed my foot and dragged me across the length of the mat. So the entire left side of my body was just like kind of road rash, like. And so I got up and I was like, I'm fine. Because, you're a teenager. So you're like, I'm good. It just stings a little bit. And my mom's like, oh my God. And she never went to anything.
Yeah.
Again.
Like rug burn.
Yeah. But like, it's just like, oh, you shake it off, have some tang. I'm trying
it's
to make
odd that you did
references.
wrestling. Like I did wrestling just because I couldn't get into like baseball. Like they had their team favorites at like my school, or like the coaches had like his favorites. And so I got into wrestling the one year. It was like the first year we had wrestling. And I was like, I want to get fit. So. But I never won anything.
Oh, really?
I got headbutted a ton, and like I'm like looking at the ref, like that's not legal. Stop him.
See, I think that like in wrestling, my advantage was the people always thought I would be docile, and then they learned that I have no limits. And so even within the rules,
you just have to win.
The rage goes on for the full 3 minutes or whatever, And also it like helped get a lot of teenage angst. I may have robbed a bank otherwise or something. I don't know. You know, he's like, I get angry. I know, like in a day and a half, I'm going to be able to beat up 3 people. You know,
Dude, those, I don't know if you guys were as crazy, but we had some nuts practices. Like, they were just like,
they're
brutal.
They'd probably be illegal now. Like, I remember did you ever do what's it called? Like the fireman carry?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like we would go upstairs.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you do like laps, and I'd carry the person who was in like within somewhat of your weight class.
Yeah.
You carry them over your shoulder and run up and down stairs and stuff.
That'll jack up your back so
Right.
All your joints.
And even then, just to make weight, we did all kinds of unhealthy stuff.
Yeah.
Like running a trash bag and things.
Yep.
Luckily we didn't pass out, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
I know. I remember kids doing that. One kid was like a crazy, silly kid we used to always hang out with named Russell. And he came in once and he's like, they had like a sale for double quarter pounders or something. And he was like 7 or 8 pounds overweight. And the coach is like, Russell. So he made him like run. It was like an hour. He had like the trash bag on and like had 3 of our sweatshirts on top of him. Oh my gosh. Like, yeah. Like, how do you not die from that? Like, he's up there, like, almost passing out. He made it barely.
You know, something else I realized was when I went to college, I realized like not everybody's comfortable in like public showers or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, whatever. And I realized it came back from wrestling because when we weigh in, you're trying to weigh as least as possible. So you're shaving off all unnecessary hair, but also we're weighing in buck naked. So it's like you and the rest.
Walk up naked.
Yeah, the rest of the team, like all 20 guys or whatever, are just buck naked in line waiting to weigh in and stuff. And so I guess it's just at a, younger, like a junior high age, it was just like, all right, here we are, Ain't nobody anything else is seeing.
You get exposed to that early.
But the kink happened when the first girl wrestler came in, and then they had to make all these accommodations.
You had girl wrestlers?
We had one.
How on?
And so the whole thing, I remember the first time they made everybody get dressed, then it messed up everybody's weight classes.
Yeah.
And so then there was like a separate weigh-in for her, and then I remember, so it wasn't for my school's team; it was like one other school's team. So the kid who was in the weight class, I think below me, had to wrestle her. And
this is way off topic, by the way.
Yeah. But and I remember he started pinning her, and then he was like, I don't know what I'm allowed to do, and so like, because you're in like spandex.
Yeah, there's like next to nothing on you.
Yeah, and stuff. I was
remember told like when you're wrapping your like arm around their leg once, if the dude's not turning for you, you give him a wrap in the nuts too. So like, I don't know what.
I don't know if I ever learned that or not.
Man. Yeah.
But
I don't know, man. It was a rough sport. It was actually a sport for like, I don't know, all the kids that weren't allowed to do all the cool stuff, or like all the, kids that weren't cool. Like that was that was where we had, I don't know,
I think
if yours are the same.
I think ours was pretty established. Like, I don't remember it being like a scale. I remember doing it because I feel like everybody played basketball in Indiana. So I played basketball a little bit. Yeah. But that, I mean, I'm not going to lie. The principal liked me. So she like walked me into that team, even though I didn't really make the cut.
Nah.
But wrestling and tennis I was pretty good at, and I realized those were both kind of like, even though they were teams, they were more individually based. So like when you won or lost, it was on you, and I liked the idea of that more.
Yeah,
because in basketball I hated the idea of me screwing up a play, but then equally I hated when someone else screwed up a play and I actually did it right.
Yeah. So
in the wrestling thing, I was like, well, this is on me. And then tennis is the same thing, and the exercise was very similar. It was all cardio based, So.
It was rough.
I never wrestled.
No. Did you have wrestling at your high school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I worked out with all those guys.
It was nuts. We actually had the basketball team come up once, and they couldn't hack it. Like how crazy freaking it was nuts.
I think the only other teams that could cut it with a wrestling team was like tennis,
cross country or something.
Tennis, maybe cross country never was with us, but probably it was tennis, and then soccer. Because soccer they run way more.
I went to an arts high school, so our sports sucked.
I'm like,
so
no.
Nobody at my high school wanted to go play sports.
I have a varsity letter in jazz hands.
Yeah. The closest to sports you could get in my arts high school was in marching band.
I mean, that is rough.
The biggest guy we had, and he had like the biggest weight class or whatever, he left wrestling to do cheerleading. So it was kind of
dude, cheerleading's also pretty difficult. Also, like in high school, like everybody made fun of like the male cheerleaders.
Yeah.
But they were the ones getting the girls, man.
They were like all the hotties.
Because they were like,
I don't know if these guys got the girls, but that was just funny.
They were like the one or two guys in the team of like 8 or 10 girls or whatever, and stuff.
Yeah.
So also they were way more fit because they had to lift everybody.
Yeah. Well, this dude was large, like he's probably a good 1.5 feet taller than me, but also just big all around. Like, so you obviously when you're that large, you have muscle to hold yourself up. Holding up little girls is not that big of a deal.
Yeah, totally.
Well, back to nerd stuff. Star Wars. I've been waiting for this Clone Wars. This is the last season of Clone Wars. I don't know if you ever watched any of it.
I've never watched any of it.
You
but
should.
Yeah,
I heard it's good.
It's on Hulu, I think.
Yeah.
No, I think it's on Disney Plus now.
It's on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I've seen the first season and it was amazing.
Yeah.
Like everything about this thing.
It's nuts. Like
It's
I
really
love
good.
this show. In fact, I hated the prequels,
Uh-huh.
and this show made me go, "All right, I'm okay with the prequels now."
The thing with Windu in the first, I think it was the first season, stole everyone's hearts or something like that. It was ridiculous.
And it's crazy. And they reintroduced in the show. That's where they kind of reintroduced Maul being still alive,
Yeah.
and you get to see a lot more. You know, in the movies, it's like little tiny kid, little tiny teenager, and he's a grown adult in the last movie for like 10 seconds before he turns bad. And you're like, wait a minute, this is weird. Like nobody changes like to bad like that. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So this like draws it out over so long a time. You could just slowly see him kind of choosing that side. And it's a great show. I'm going to stop here so that we can watch the trailer for it. And I'll put it in the show notes for you guys if you haven't seen it.
Sweet. Yeah, I was just saying, Windu is just like sick in this whole series, and so are all the knights, the Jedis.
I'm wondering if they're going to reintroduce Ahsoka again because she kind of leaves in here.
Yeah.
I think she's going to be in the next. I don't know if there's a Rebels version after that because they had the Rebels show after this.
We were saying it's like all Disney Plus now too, so it's easy to find.
Yeah, it used to be in Cartoon Network.
How long has that show been going on? It's been a couple decades, right?
No. It was only 6 or 7 seasons. I think they had up to 6 seasons, and I think that they after that kind of did an extra.
What was it, like
for the last
2015
season?
maybe?
Oh, really? Why did I think it was like early 2000s?
I know that they had like a cartoon version for one
okay.
season, I think, and then they moved on to this, which is very similar art, only it's computer animated.
I wasn't gonna comment on that. I love there's something that's aesthetically pleasing to me about the PS1 graphics.
It is a little blocky, yeah.
But I like love it. Like I don't know, there's something that reminds me of like Metal Gear Solid or something.
Yeah.
It does.
It's
I mean,
kinda
it did come out. When was that? You want to look that up there?
I was
Here we go. The first season of Clone Wars.
there you go.
There we go. It is 2009 is when it started.
Okay, so it was only like a decade off.
Yeah.
How many seasons?
I was even pretty far off.
This is the last season, so this will be
2008.
this will be the 7th season. So Netflix actually picked up the 6th season. That's what it was. I think it's a shorter season, and it's little tiny tie-ups of certain things from the previous
So good.
season. It's so good. It's crazy weird how much I watch that show. A band actually turned me on to it. They're like,
Really?
"Oh, if you like this, then you're gonna." I'm like, "I don't know if I'll like that." And they're like, "You need to watch it." And so we watched it from start to finish with the girls, and we just loved it.
Nice.
Story's great.
Even Angie loved it, which is weird, However, her brother, who was like into all the books or whatever, wasn't always a big fan of it. So
The books, man, that's where it started though. And I don't know if you can get better than those.
yeah, it's pretty crazy how much. I mean, it's just like the Marvel universe. It's just a lot of information. Which is why
you can't put in these movies.
Which is why I kind of empathize or sympathize with some of the fans being upset about the movies not having some of that stuff that's in the books. I mean, it's just. I mean, they basically walked up after Disney bought it and was like, "Hey, all this stuff that you already researched and loved, goodbye."
yeah, we're omitting all of it
And so,
and carving a new path because that's
Hopefully-
what we want.
I mean, that's when it was what's the lady? I can't remember her name. Kathy Kennedy or whatever was like, we don't have any. It's not like Marvel to where they have like a large amount of information and books and comics and whatnot. And it's like, yes, you do. Like at the very least, you could adapt some of the good stuff that you like from it. But no, they just want to start from like scratch, kind of. So
At least let it be one of the inspirations for the thing.
yeah,
Like don't
get rid of all of it, 100%. No. I don't want to get into that because
I don't mind like new ideas if they're
Yes.
cool, but I do really like the nostalgia and when they do kind of like throw heavy nods to the books and the stuff like that.
when they've already built a universe before that,
They do it a lot with like these like photography wise, like like they're doing all the covers where Batman's on the side of the building.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
like, so they're paying homage to all that, but like I want to see yellow spandex.
Yeah, I saw pictures the other day. Somebody, I think a website had posted like, here's some updates to the X-Men's costume that we could have in the MCU. And I like literally posted that meme that no, this needs to be good costumes, close to classic, at least there's something in the comics. I want that. I don't want like this garbage black and white crap again.
I saw, I don't know if this was actual like published news or whatever, but our friends Ruth Ann and Chris were talking about how they actually were talking about now about doing the Fantastic Four again.
Mm-hmm.
And like maybe starting to open up the casting for it.
Yeah.
And I'd mentioned like they were going through like their dream cast.
Yes.
And obviously there's like a lot of different possibilities there. I saw memes of John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic.
Always Emily Blunt and John Krasinski is always everyone's top pick, it seems.
And so like I remember commenting like I actually if not that I should make making decisions, but if it were up to me, I'd love to see like all the rest of the cast be just like really talented unknowns, and then like Doctor Doom should be like David Tennant or something, like
David Tennant's kind of small.
I mean, just like that realness and stuff, like because
or should be Idris Elba.
Idris Elba.
Oh, sure. I mean, any of that's like just anybody that's like authoritative, stuff. Just anything but what we had so far.
Yeah.
But like also maybe not introducing the first movie, just like Thanos that for a couple movies or something.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things they could go through the Fantastic Four. It's kind of crazy that they choose that every single time. I guess it's like Magneto in the X-Men movie. Like we gotta have him in everything. Like,
He's the dark where we have the light.
But I'm super interested in seeing that. But yeah, it's whenever I see anybody talk about it, it's John Krasinski and Emily Blunt, which I'd be okay with it. But I'm definitely more for people that are unknowns because I feel like you can pick them and you don't have any baggage to deal with, and people can't go, I don't like them because they're in all these other movies.
Yeah. And, in that case, it's kind of it would make sense for like Doctor Doom to be like the celeb to carry it, and then everybody else just be like when we met Hugh Jackman. Yeah, we're like, oh, he's really great, and we didn't know anything about him before.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's nothing to base it on before that. Like, oh, he looks the part, and he acts the part. He did a good job. Cool. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I feel a little bit like that with Pattinson. Like, I don't like his other movies that he's done. I mean, like, and I just don't see him acting much better in this next one, but I don't know. I mean, it could blow up.
I hope they only give him like 3 lines.
Exactly. He just doesn't talk.
That test footage looked pretty good. But it was like over dramatic.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't know. So the bat logo was the broken pieces of the gun that killed his parents.
I was going to say, like, if they make this into like an anti-gun thing, like, I'm going to be like, no.
I don't think it's going to be that. I just have questions about how a child acquires pieces of a gun.
Exactly.
But also, like, I don't want another origin story. Like, I don't know.
Exactly.
It's like,
I don't want that either.
What the world needs is another Batman origin story. Even a little bit of a hint is like too much.
Yeah.
They just got to Tom Holland that shit, and just be like, he's Spider-Man now.
Exactly.
Give him another enemy and give me a badass Batman movie.
I mean, like the first Batman was the same. Like you barely saw maybe a little bit of an origin story to him, So it's kind of.
I don't even want that much. The most I want is what they did in Lego Batman, where he looks at the photo for 2 seconds.
He's just sad,
and you're just like, cool, that happened. All right, move on.
Everybody knows it, I didn't like the design of the guns thing. I thought it looked stupid. I thought it was cheesy. I'm like, this is dumb. Like, no one would do that.
I just don't know of a gun that has a clip, like the clips on them.
It was just basically like a split gun down the middle. Yeah.
But there's looks like there's like clips, like that you would like put in your pocket, like a clip that would like slide, like a clip on the back of a knife. That's what it looked like on both sides.
Oh, weird.
And I was like, what gun has that? That doesn't even look like a gun.
We're in Gotham, so like it could be anything that Two-Face, Joker, Harley Quinn, anybody like invents. It could be whatever. Like
I just thought it looked cheesy. I'm like, oh no, they're gonna play this up as like an anti-gun thing. I mean, like if that's your thing, fine. But like, I don't
know if they'll go there. I mean, I think it naturally has a certain level of it because a child's parents get killed.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I don't know anything about it, but I couldn't see them like making that a Batman message.
I feel if they do, they're going to lose the audience hardcore. Because, I mean, it's already torn in half as the way it is, with, the studios kind of like every once in a while, like, oh, we need to push a little bit of a modern agenda in there, which is fine. But like when you're putting it into comic books all the time and you're like, well, we just wasted all this time. We could have had like a really good story with a really good, villain and a really good hero. Instead, we're trying to run this. I mean, I don't know.
I guess if I'm going to be honest, unless it's done poorly, I wouldn't mind it. I especially you know, like NerdSync just did this video about how comic books have always been political and stuff, it would make sense.
Always is hard. I mean, like, it's like if you read comics every single day, it's not always going to be political.
No. The origins of comics have always been political. So it's a long story. The video is like an hour long and it needs the full hour to barely explain it. But like, I get it. Like it makes sense about the people who are drawing them and stuff. I'm not saying it has to be. It just wouldn't surprise me. And unless it's just a really poorly tacky, you know, thing, then it'll be whatever.
That's what I'm saying is if you're going into that and have an angle like that, I feel like you're going to lose a lot of people eventually.
Has that been an issue that's been talked about? I wasn't even aware that was.
It seems
like
to be
a
online
thing.
what a lot of people are talking about. I don't know if that's true, but I feel like that's definitely an opportunity for them to talk about it. I mean, Batman is anti-gun.
I just can't see it because it doesn't compute to me to inject that into that story.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it just like I said, because it kind of naturally has a certain level of like, I don't know. It would be weird for that, like, for it to be like a Bruce Wayne is against guns after that kind of thing. Like, just because we
that's
haven't.
What I'm saying. It would
that.
be weird, and that's why I don't like it.
I'm just hoping that it sells whatever it does, whatever its thing is.
When is this movie coming out?
Oof, I don't know. Next year.
It still seems too soon for me. I feel like I want a decade off of Batman and Superman for a while.
I want a good. I want a good one. You know, like I just don't. I mean, Affleck just came out because he was supposed to be in this movie. Here, I'll pull up to this. He was supposed to be in this movie, and he came out like saying he had a little thing he said about the movie. Originally, Matt Reeves and Affleck were writing this movie together, and to be honest, like Affleck was not the worst part of Justice League, and he was okay as far as
it was a team effort.
Bruce Wayne, I think we talked about it before. His Bruce Wayne was great, just like Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker was great. Spider-Man on the other half was a little, at least his acting in it. Same thing with this Batman. Like his acting in the Batman was a little, but his Bruce Wayne was dead on. So, but what's he say down here? He says, I showed somebody the Batman script. We called Affleck. They said, I think the script is good. I also think you'll drink yourself to death if you go through what you just went through again. Which is, I guess he had like some drinking issues or whatever at the time. Plus you're dealing with like, I'm sure
dark
so
script.
many. Well, it's a dark person. You're getting into character, but I'm sure so many hands in Warner Brothers as well as the fans being a pain in the butt. And Batfleck garbage going on all over the place. So
Batfleck.
I just don't want it. I'm just tired of Batman and Superman at this point. Like, I don't know if
Which is
everybody
a
feels that
shame.
way.
It shouldn't be like that, but it is.
It just because it just loses momentum, after a while. Like I got so jazzed about Iron Man for the last 10 years, and then
That's why I'm just like hoping that this new Batman does something.
Yeah.
Like,
if it's
just
good,
any bit of good.
I want a good Batman. I mean, I want that, but I feel like Warner Brothers, they take, just like with the Affleck thing, they literally almost came out and word for word almost said like, we're hiring Affleck because he did well in these other movies. And so it's like, I feel like the same thing with Pattinson. We're like, hey, we're Warner Brothers. We did Twilight or whatever else. He did really good in these other movies, and he's doing good in these indie movies. So hey, let's hire him to do this. And Warner Brothers, I feel like just doesn't have the brain power to think through this stuff sometimes.
You got to think, like, he's not that old. Robert Patterson.
No.
So like, this is going to be a younger Batman.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
It's supposed to be like year one, I think.
So anybody that knows me and Vince's content, like there's a running joke. Like we have some friends that work at Warner, and whenever we hang out with them, I'm always like teasing. Or when we do branded content from them, I always tease by saying like, also sign out, do DC better. It's like it's been going for like 4 years now or more. And so when I was praising the Harley Quinn cartoon show, I put it on Facebook. I was like, I actually love this. I blame our friend Zach James for introducing it to us. One of those friends that works at Warner just said, "You're welcome" in a comment. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's awesome. Like you did DC better ones.
Well, they always have, their cartoons are always watchable. At the very least, they're watchable.
It's such a bad bar though. Just
like they're great or they're at the very least watchable.
Yeah,
Sometimes some of Marvel's you're like, I'm not. They could be really, really good, or they're like, I don't want to watch that. Like DC stuff. There's stuff I just don't. There's stuff I don't know. I'd watch it all.
Yeah, I try to watch it all, but there's a reason there's like 30 shows on there. Because you're only going to watch like 5.
Yeah.
So some of them are just stinkers.
Birds of Prey, the show. This is definitely a stinker.
Well,
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
I mean, I went through
Weird.
and watched a bunch the other night. Let's see if I can find the.
So speaking of Birds of Prey, so I guess like the numbers are finalized or whatever,
Yeah.
and without the marketing budget, it kind of broke even internationally and everything.
Yeah.
I saw something, and if you're listening, I guess look it up and see if it's true, because it's an interesting. I'm not even going to make a point about it, just going to put the conversation out there. So it was deemed a failure at 35 million or something like that.
First weekend.
But I guess when Ford versus Ferrari came out, it was praised for being a great box office at the same number, at 35 million. Some people said, well, comic book movies are different or whatever and stuff. But it wasn't a good look because, Ford versus Ferrari has like 2 male stars and inside female stars and stuff. I'm curious as if outside of the genre, just as a movie coming out on a weekend without competition, is that true? And is it just marketing spin on both sides? Like Ford versus Ferrari come out and they're like, oh, it did great, 35. And then like Birds of Prey comes out, it's like, it did terrible, 35. I'm just curious what people think about like that.
Could have also
dynamic.
been like historically the movies that weekend do better in certain weekends or whatever else. Also, I would more say that it's like, since it was like a giant to do comic book movie, it was supposed to be doing better. It's, off the heels of Suicide Squad and everything else. Yeah,
I see I see the
Aquaman.
potential of the spin though, because sometimes that stuff like kind of happens where they like number one movie or like, but there was no other competition that week, or something like Sonic. I don't think like actually like busted down the doors of records and stuff, but it also beat.
It beat Birds of Prey out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it came out. It beat whatever debuted that week, which was very little. Like there wasn't. I don't think there was another kids movie or action or video game thing or something that came out that weekend. So what would have been impressive is it's like Lego Movie 3 and Sonic come out the same week, and Sonic beat their numbers. That would have been impressive,
But I imagine the amount spent probably for the Ford versus Ferrari probably was not as much as the Harley Quinn movie.
I don't know. Let me look it up. I mean, I would assume so too, but I also don't know enough about like cars.
Yeah,
like,
it's true.
what's
The cars could have been
crazy.
pretty darn expensive.
But
But I don't know. They just
Those
don't have any
cars-
CGI. I guess they probably might have some CGI in it.
Yeah, it had some like low key, you know.
Or fight sequences. Those take forever to film.
Let's see. Well, these are like wait. This is it doesn't. These are budget. Budget 97 million.
For Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah. Birds.
How much is Birds of Prey?
Prey
Do, 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 do,
is.
do, do.
Do-
I was gonna hum the Wii song, but
Birds of Prey was less. It was 84 million.
oh, crazy!
Okay, so now my questions are even more. Like, wow.
Those have bigger stars. I imagine the stars that are in the other movie, I imagine, are bigger too.
Yeah. Interesting. Anyway, so
Yeah.
just a little point of interest. I'm interested in seeing what people think about that. Spin on things because.
So, what was the opening weekends for them both? Ford versus Ferrari
Let me see.
is. I got that.
91.
And you get the other one. Opening week.
Are we looking just at domestic or
Yeah, just-
national?
Well, look, I think a domestic's probably easier to look at, but
Domestic for Birds of Prey was a little over 33 million.
okay. Did they go up? Okay, so maybe.
Ford vs. Ferrari was 31.
Yeah, so it's 31 million. I guess. And
So yeah, there are questions there about that. But I was just curious. Like I said, I'm not like I don't have a stance on it yet. I'm just curious, like what general thoughts are
Right.
about that.
Like how that makes a difference or not.
maybe even expectations. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. But even just like aside from all the other stuff, just like movies, with just the numbers and stuff, like just
Oh,
interested.
like how that works with the numbers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine that most of that, I mean, all of us already know that, but like an actor like Ben Affleck, I mean, not Ben Affleck,
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon
And
is going to
Christian-
be like,
and Christian
Christian
Bale.
Bale. Who else was in it? There's
Ridiculous
a bunch
money.
of people in it, wasn't there?
Yeah,
I imagine they would get a couple million. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's more like I don't know.
If not more than a couple,
it
10
was
million.
Matt Damon, Christian Bale, John Bernthal.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I recognize right now.
Yeah.
Which is
Pretty cool.
I mean, you got the
stupid
other one. You got
money.
Ewan McGregor and Margot Robbie is the only two like I guess, majors.
Big ones.
Oh, a little shout out to our friends at Princess Rap Battles. Also, sorry, we didn't get your email till after we were not sick. We were supposed to help on this Princess Rap Battles video. It ended up being a Birds of Prey thing with Harley Quinn, Huntress, and Black Canary. And our friend Spanky Valentine was Black Canary. Was for the movie version, like Dead Ringer. So it was a really cool video that got sponsored by Warner Brothers and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
They just released it. We released a week late, which my personal commentary on the Warner Brothers marketing was like they released the promo video a week after opening weekend. And that wasn't Princess Rap Battle's fault.
A lot of people complained about the marketing of the movie. It just, they just did a poor job.
Weird.
Yeah.
I just saw Scott had posted that he saw Birds of Prey, but he put a picture of his ticket and just said Harley Quinn. It's like, I see you saw the SEO optimized version.
Oh, goodness. What else we got? I think that might be one of the few things. I mean, we got the Batman dealy. Yeah. I guess the CW is going to redevelop the Lost Boys into a TV series, which I'm not a fan about because
What?
that was a cool old movie. And
Interesting.
The only way I would take that is in the form of a cartoon.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch Lost Boys. It's been a long time.
I would totally see Lost Boys and the whole storyline with that as a cartoon. I don't want them to remake something into a TV show, live action.
Well, it's CW too. It's going to be like teenage drama.
Yeah,
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
it's gonna taste
Riverdale.
It's gonna taste like cardboard.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No.
On the flip side of something I actually want to watch that I wasn't sure about before.
What's that?
I guess Hulu started a series of High Fidelity.
Oh yeah.
Supposedly it's really good.
Well, it also has the daughter of the
It's
one
Zoe
girl-
Kravitz.
Yeah.
I read an interview with her, like, how do you feel about your connection with your mother, Lisa Bonet being in the original?
Yeah.
And she was like, they didn't even realize that, or she didn't realize that until like later in the casting process. It just kind of like happened. So I think people assumed that it was because of that.
Yeah.
And
I thought it was going to be like a continuation of her story or something.
yeah, I guess
not,
it
probably.
wasn't. Well, I'm excited
cool, though.
because I read her interview and she said that there was a fear that the conversations they had in the record store weren't going to be timely because even if they did up to date like conversations, they would quickly become like out of trend,
Is it
stuff.
in today's time?
I think so.
Okay.
Because she said that like there's a example in one of the episodes they have a conversation about Michael Jackson versus Kanye West and stuff.
Yeah.
And she was like, but the thing is that conversation is still timeless.
Yeah.
And after that, I'm like, I love that. My dream is to just have conversations about music in record stores for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Like I would love that. Like when I watch High Fidelity, I want to be like Jack Black and yell at somebody for listening to like Stevie Wonder's like crappiest stuff.
Yes.
And things like
Does he have crappy stuff?
it was what was it that he made fun of the guy for buying?
I can't remember.
You Are the Sunshine of My Life.
You
something.
are the sunshine of my
So
life.
correct me if I'm wrong because it's been a while since I watched the movie, but I think this guy comes into a record store and asks Jack Black, like, do you have You Are the Sunshine of My Life?
I think it was Britney Spears. Like when the guy comes in and Jack Black's like, "Oh, we probably have it, but I'm not going to give it to you."
No, it was a Stevie Wonder tune.
Are you sure? Gosh dang, I must live in a different dimension.
Was Britney Spears a thing when High Fidelity came out?
Oh, maybe not.
But
Britney Spears was like when I was late in high school, dude.
When
Black.
but
High
like
Fidelity,
he was like, if you're gonna listen to Stevie Wonder, you're gonna listen to the talking book and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It's like you're not gonna buy your wife You're the Sunshine of My Life,
Okay, the best customer scene. I'm looking for a record for my birthday.
I just called to say I love you. That's what he made fun of.
That is a boring ass song.
So he was making fun. He was like, he won't sell it to him.
Yeah,
Because he's like, you're not going
Yeah.
to come here and buy Stevie Wonder and buy that song.
No, okay, gosh,
That makes
dang, why is my
total
brain?
sense.
Yeah.
to me, like, because I'm definitely a fan.
The funny thing is, like, I don't mind that song, but there'd be other things. Because, like now, gosh, it's been over a decade now. I used to work in the music section at Barnes & Noble.
Yeah.
I always said, like, if I ever get my finances straight and I fulfill my dreams of being a songwriter, I just want to spend my extra time working in music at a record store at Barnes & Noble. Because, like, literally, like, these, I remember this one night this guy walked in and he was like, long story short, because it was a conversation that led to this, but I found out, like, he just, like, gotten divorced and he was, like, depressed. And, like, his first reaction was to go to the record store. Well, Barnes & Noble's closest thing we had to a record store.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're my people. Okay, here's a stack of records. And whatever you don't like, I'll buy back from you tomorrow,
Right.
and stuff. And I was like, you're going to listen to Black Keys, Brothers, and also Spoon, like all this stuff. And I want to be that guy. 'Cause I'm like, here's your breakup playlist.
Yeah.
And then in a week, this is your Burn Her Stuff playlist.
right?
You know,
You could have customers that way too that always come back for your playlist or like for your recommendations.
Yeah. I mean, we worked in a Christian bookstore, and we back in the late 90s, Christian music, there's tons of it.
Yeah.
I mean, just a million different versions of whatever, punk rock to whatever. Like, it's just it's insane. And so like people would come in and be like, hey, yeah, what do you want? What are you looking for? All right, good.
I had a guy at the wall.
Yeah.
I had a guy at the wall. I forget his name now, but like would always recommend me good shit. That is like if you're a record store or bookstore person, that is like a specialized talent thing.
Our local Christian bookstore, it was the Living Water. I remember now. Holy crap!
Their names.
Their music section. The rest of the store was basically a Vacation Bible School like supply store, but the music section. I remember the guy there was probably my age now, but then, and his boss was literally named Mr. Fuchs, and he pronounced like you thought it was. So I was walking around Christian bookstores like Mr. Fox in town or like and stuff. And the
Fooch.
No, it wasn't Fooch. It was Fox. Like. And their recommendations were great because I don't know. This is like the CCM boomer in me, but that was like the golden age of like.
Yeah, there's so much music. It was insane.
Like, so we go in and like, I'm gonna buy an MXPX record. Literally no mention of religion on it. It was just a cool record, you know. Or even when it did mention like religion and stuff, like that's before POD blew up in the mainstream.
Yep, POD was huge.
And so we're like, listen, POD, like I don't know,
a bunch of stuff like that blew up too.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. It's for any of the CCM kids out there. I just saw. So this is so random. I'm Facebook friends with Ronnie Martin from Joy Electric. We've never met, so I'm not like, claiming anything there. But I like seeing his posts every once in a while. So still a very religious guy. They had their record label. I forget. He said something like someone sent him this stuff from the record label that they had thought they'd lost. He has the original tape, like recording reels from the very first Morelos Forest.
Oh, crazy
thing.
I saw that.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's like released.
It's not released.
I think he said
people are like, we need to release this.
Yeah, it's so cool. Like, wow, history.
It's not crazy to find like history like that. Or like, hey, this was never released. There's so many records that are like that. Beach Boys have 1 million songs that you'll never, ever, ever hear.
Yeah. It's just like, what was the joke? Like Brian Wilson's just recording someone's like boobs or something. Like, let's get the wind off the noise.
I mean, like I worked in a recording studio forever, and people would come in and they'd record a song, and I'd be like, "Sweet, I wonder when this is coming out." Never came out.
Well, like if you watch Miss Americana, it's that Taylor Swift documentary on Netflix.
Yeah,
there's a board meeting where she talks about like we're probably gonna have almost 18 to 20 songs on this album. And she's like, I know it's a lot, but I whittled it down from it. She said something like 120 or whatever like that.
I was like John Foreman from Switchfoot. He said whenever he writes an album, he writes 100 songs or something. So I mean. Yeah, I mean,
that's a lot of songs.
That's a lot of information from High Fidelity. That's going to be weird. That movie is going to be turned into a show. Like it's one of those things like The Godfather, where they're like, we're going to redo this as an update. And I'm like, you touch that and you die. So, so hopefully it's good. I
saw that there was like criticism for it before it came out.
Yeah,
and then the first person to defend it was Nick Hornsby, the guy who wrote the original book. And I don't want to misquote him, so you go look up this quote, but it's something to the effect of the show is like as good or better than the movie. That show was like closer to what he envisioned in the book or something, something to that effect. And
I'm not going to knock that, but this is the person probably getting a paycheck from the TV show.
Yeah, but I think he also wasn't a huge fan of the movie.
It's just weird.
I don't know, but I also haven't read the book. I'm going to disclose.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a book it was made off of.
Yeah, Nick Hornsby is also like amazing. So he did this collaboration with our friends Pomplamoose and then Ben Foltz, who's not a friend but a huge fan of.
I wish he was a friend,
right? And Nick Hornsby like does the dialogue in between, and it's all this like stuff that like it kind of puts things in perspective. I think it's like Things You Think. You should look it up if you haven't heard it. Nick Hornsby's basically like, like every year the stars travel millions of miles and shine light, 3,000 light years away, and we don't even. Like the light we see is, thousands of years old or whatever. Like, but I need to get bread from the store around the corner. I'm too tired to walk. Like
it's perspective.
Yeah.
So I can be excited for High Fidelity or the possibility of being good, but I don't think I'm going to be excited for the CW's version
of Lost Boys.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like another Twilight-esque teenage whiny. Ugh.
I mean, maybe when I was in high school, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, if I'm an angsty teenager, maybe my daughter will like it.
Banging my head on the wall might be more entertaining.
I might check it out. I also wasn't like a huge Lost Boys fan back in the day.
It's a classic movie, though.
Yeah. It's Kiefer Sutherland, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird. It's really weird. Like, because we just, nowadays, whenever we see something new, it's really not usually new. I mean, it's usually some like regurgitated version. I mean, it kind of hit a wall a few years ago when I saw a Marmaduke movie. So I was like,
there's a Marmaduke movie.
Yeah, it was bad. I mean, it was funny.
George
but it was bad.
Lopez, I think.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it came and went like that. So
Marmaduke was my favorite, like black and white, like comic strip when I was a kid growing up. Like,
He has a big.
If they make
dog.
Flying Circus into one, you're gonna know.
yeah, Flying Circus was another one.
Like, oh gosh, people.
But what was the? Oh, speaking of the original stuff, I saw that they greenlit like a sequel to Knives Out,
Oh, weird.
and so because it was so successful,
Yeah.
but like all the industry rags of saying like this is like one of the first like completely original that's not based on pre-existing stuff or franchise that did so well.
Yeah,
So I think they said the general premise for the next movie. Have you seen Knives Out?
I have not. My daughter and my wife want to see it. I don't think that. Yeah,
It's like which daughter, the older one?
yeah.
Oh, I think it'd be. I mean, if she's watching some of the videos, like
Yeah.
some of the channels that on YouTube, that I think that it should be fine. I don't know if Angela's gonna love it necessarily. It's a murder
She
mystery.
wants to see it. They love Clue.
Oh,
It's basically
Yeah, I was gonna
that.
say, that's
It would
what it looks like. It looks like it's a fun, more
Also,
bloody version of Clue.
If they want to have fun with it, they do give you all the clues to solve the whole movie in the first 20 minutes. You just got to pay attention, but it's very magician-esque. Like there's something happening over here, but the thing's actually happening over here. So the whole thing's that all-star cast and the Daniel Craig's like this. The only thing I wish they would have got rid of is Daniel Craig is like a Southern. I just wish he was just like an investigator.
He doesn't sound like Colonel Sanders.
He might sound right. I just can't unbrand him in my head, as British. But
He did a great.
Whenever you hear him
accent.
talk,
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
He did a great accent. Or whatever.
but he based it off of some other like TV detective that sounds like that.
Right.
It makes me think of whenever you'd hear Jon Stewart talk like he's Lindsey Graham.
Oh.
Like, well, I do declare.
Yeah, that's basically that. So I guess the sequel is going to be him solving the next murder that happens in that house with a different cast.
Oh,
or
weird.
something. Especially,
So he's like the James Bond of fixing murderers.
oh yeah, there you go. He's moving from one Bond thing to the next. But like it makes sense because since he's the detective, it would make sense to have him be kind of like the cornerstone. And it's kind of like what I wanted shows like Heroes to do back in the day.
Yeah.
Even though I loved all those characters like Hero and Claire and stuff.
They never came to actually be a group.
But it also would have been much nicer if the second season was like, oh, and then they Mohinder stumbled upon another group of people in another city or something.
You know what I just thought of? He's kind of like the Southern Sherlock Holmes,
Pretty much.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
and maybe that's why they didn't do him as a British guy.
I would have probably run out to watch that movie a little
Or
bit
English.
quicker had I not been pissed that he, did Star Wars.
Right.
The
Oh,
second one.
I don't know. He did a great job. And especially, it's funny. I remember seeing, I know you probably disagree with this, but after the third Star Wars movie, most of the tweets from my friends were like, everybody owes Ryan Johnson an apology.
What? No way.
Because he came out with Knives Out. That was a hit, and
Yeah.
then this Star Wars bombed almost equally as much. Well, not bombed; it made a lot of money, but bombed in like the fan service as much as like the previous one.
I don't know. I feel like everything was a little bit more even keel with this one. To where people were like, well, it's the ending, so I mean, I didn't really like it, but I didn't really hate it, so it's over.
I love it when I saw somebody post something like that, but they were like, I was fine with the last Star Wars movie until I slowly realized months later that my favorite franchise ever ended with none of the Skywalkers living and a Palpatine taking the Skywalker name and living on with that legacy. And that's how it ends.
Yo, speaking of like being kind of like let down, at the end of Sonic, I just realized this. I was kind of sad when we were leaving.
Yeah.
And then it went away really fast because I was like, oh, that's dumb.
Because got to go fast.
But yeah.
I want to go fast.
But at the end of the movie, it's all happy ending. Whatever, Sonic's like now like basically friends with this guy and like lives in his house and shit. But I was like, so what? Sonic's just there now? Like there's no more games or anything? Like he's just in this little town of Green Hill now. Is like
But the next movie, Tails is going to find him.
I hope they actually yeah. But I was a little sad. I was like, oh shit. He's been like kind of like knocked down all the way to a domestic pet.
No, I see him more like a kid who never moved out of his parents' house.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because he has his own space. It is kind of heartwarming.
Was James Marsden's character and his girlfriend, wife, whatever, looking to have children in the future? Is that what this was?
Not necessarily.
I think there's like a nod to
Where
it.
he like
Or,
fulfills
not
a
a
spot
nod,
that they wish they could have.
but
Not necessarily, because he's trying to, predictably he's trying to shake him the whole first beginning of the movie and stuff.
yeah, it's just like there's a thing that that James wanted to do that he ended up like getting that satiated feeling in the end. So,
And the part in the trailer where like he shoots Sonic?
Yeah.
That's the linchpin of the movie. That's why James Marsden keeps
like
helping him.
suckered into
Because
helping Sonic.
he tranked him, and that's why Sonic couldn't run for a while.
He's like, it's all your fault.
Until he ran to the Pacific Ocean, so.
That's right.
But
But good fun.
yeah.
That's ridiculous about the Knives Out thing. That's going to be exciting.
I don't know when it's supposed to come out. I just saw that like it's either greenlit or very close or something. They're like, it made so much money, we're gonna do another one.
It's cool.
It was a fun movie. I didn't know I was gonna enjoy it that much when we left.
I loved it. The girl too. Just like everything about her was just this like really interesting thing that you cared about.
So that's the main gag, is that they kind of did what I hope that Fantastic Four does. So the ensemble cast, they're like all star. It's like
Huge.
A-listers and stuff. But the movie is really about this one girl that they never mentioned in the previews. That is an unknown an essentially unknown actress,
And now she is.
and she's like the center of the movie.
Who is she?
She's very good. She's like
Some girl from Guatemala.
that's the ongoing joke, is all these white people keep getting her country of origin wrong.
She's from Brazil, right?
But they keep naming South American countries when she's clearly from like a Central American country and stuff. But she's the nurse of the guy that dies.
Oh, Christopher Palmer.
Yeah. So like, but everybody treats her like a maid. It's a whole like. There's a little bit of social commentary in there. I can't say that it's off.
No.
But like, but she does a great job of like being the foundation of the movie along with Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
And so like it's like she's the foundation and Daniel Craig's like the narrator of everything and stuff. And everybody else are like they're there. They're not. It's not like cameos. They're there, but they're only supplementing like her story. But it was a nice surprise to just kind of see like a strong unknown face.
Yeah.
But like I got kind of clickbaited there by all the names, and then I wasn't disappointed.
Yeah. No, it looked really good. I definitely wanted to see it.
It's
Just
fun to
having
try
that
to
time.
it's fun to try to figure out while you're watching.
Yes. Well, my wife and daughter love freaking Murder, She Wrote and Father Dowling Mysteries and Matlock and all that garbage.
Columbo.
I won't lie. When I was a kid,
Murder Diagnosis.
I liked Father Dowling Mysteries. There was something about that brand of like mystery solving. It was very Scooby Doo-esque.
Yes. Very. Where you got the extra nun helping you out.
Yeah. Then when I grew up, I was like, she did not act like a nun.
Nope.
I can't deny that I've watched a few Murder She Wrotes.
Speaking of nuns, we've been eating these nun cookies that our subscriber Mike sent us.
Are they actually called nun cookies? What are
They're
they
called Nunbelievable.
Nunbelievable.
So he bought these for us, but I guess part of the proceeds go to feed like homeless people. So you can see that on our live stream this Sunday. We'll put a little video of us trying it. And Josh,
Are they actually by nuns?
I don't know. It says the ingredients are sourced directly from heaven, so I'm not sure how accurate the descriptions are.
Is this the new nun to table
Exactly.
cookies?
But we tried them out and recorded it, so you'll see the preview and
Got them all in a sweatshop somewhere.
the countdown to our live stream on Sunday.
Yeah, on Sunday.
But these
at
are
11 p.m.
These are the
Pacific.
densest, largest cookies I've seen in a while.
They're thick.
They're really great.
But they're good.
They
Yeah.
taste good.
And gluten free. Not all of them, just the ones we got.
Yeah, I don't feel like I'm gonna sneeze my face off.
And you also get to see Josh's youngest freak out over the espresso cookies that we found out after she ate them that has espresso in it.
Oh gosh.
That was the greatest.
So it's
The
gonna
best is when she's like, "They look like poop,"
yeah,
because they're like a mound.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just
That's why you always have little kids in focus groups because they won't sugarcoat things for you.
so nice and refreshing sometimes.
Did you ever watch Waterworld?
Yeah.
Not on purpose. It's always on like TBS after.
Oh man, I remember at some point in the movie he gets like his eye blown off or whatever, and they like carve him another eye out of some steel, and he puts it in his eye socket or whatever, and the guys are like, "It looks great," and he like looks at the little kid. What's it look like? It looks like crap. I'm like, see, kids are adorable. You guys lied to me.
I know Mark Rober on YouTube. He did a whole Impossible Burger / Beyond Burger experiment with Bill Gates.
Weird.
He had like a week to learn how to cook like Beyond Burgers and Impossible Burgers correctly. And so he did his first test and he was like, I'm going to do it with my friends, but they also have their kids. because my friends will try to be nice to me and their kids will not. and so he got them to the point, like he did well enough that the kids like didn't know, and when he revealed to them what they were like, no.
Like,
No.
Afterwards.
But they kept thinking he was lying, you know.
Oh wow.
And stuff. So he was like, it's all about the way you cook it and stuff. But I don't know. Anyway, the long story short, it was like his litmus test was like, we're gonna have small children and then ask them what they think.
They'll tell you the truth most of the time, especially food. Gosh.
Yeah. They're like, ew, you know.
They might not say anything, but they won't eat it.
Yeah.
They'll be like, and they'll walk away. She don't like it. Well, guys, thanks for hanging around. We're about that time.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out with us this week.
That's right. Make sure to check out all of the Yellow Spandex episodes. Now we're on 53 or 4. And
I don't know, 4 or 5. I don't know.
Welcome to all you new listeners out there. I've noticed the numbers have jumped up a little bit more.
We had a bunch of people from Iran the other day, which I was like,
oh yeah,
okay, hi Iranians.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
I don't know.
That's interesting.
They had Portugal and Iran and a couple other places where I was like, oh, what weird. How did they learn about us?
Well, you get to hang out with us, the casuals, and talk about all our movie favorites.
Or we have a significant fan base with VPNs. We don't know.
That's true. That's very true, actually. I wanted to say I actually started my podcast a few weeks ago. You guys are on number 2.
Awesome.
It's called Starting a Record Label, and I start a record label.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you want some entertainment, the first episode is Josh trying to convince his wife to let him do it. So
she's real quiet though in it. It picks up after the first one.
Gotcha.
All right, guys.
See you later.
Week.